All right, we told Kada's family we would not let this story go until we have a resolution. So here's some new info. This 21-year-old Keon King, who they arrested, he turned himself in and then they arrested him, has been charged in connection to the disappearance of Kada. He is now being held on a huge bond, $2.5 million.
So Shayna is live with more on all the charges and more on the investigation.
Yeah, today marks day 13 in the search for Kada Scott, 23 years old, and you mentioned it, 21-year-old Keon King, now facing a slew of charges, including kidnapping in connection to the disappearance of Kada Scott. Now, we are learning some new details about him, but let me give you a background in terms of where we are and how we got here. Now, Kada Scott was last seen on October 4th at her job at the Terrace at Chestnut Hill Senior Living Facility. This is back on October the 4th, and her family has been searching for her ever since. Now, Philadelphia police found some significant evidence at a former middle school near Arboretum here in Philadelphia, right by Germantown, so about 2.5 miles away from where she was last seen. There, it was where evidence was found, including a bank card with her name on it, and her cell phone case was found in that abandoned lot. Then on Wednesday, a tip led police to locate Keon King's vehicle, which was parked at a condominium complex in East Falls. The car was towed and is now being processed for information and evidence, as police do believe at this point that Scott may have been inside that vehicle. Now, when it comes to the suspect, Keon Scott, 21 years old, as you mentioned, held on $2.5 million bail. He has quite the history when it comes to his rap sheet. We're learning he has a protection from abuse order against him for another woman in a separate case, which is still active until 2027. And we're going to pop up a video that's actually part of that investigation there. The victim in that case recording him attempting to break into her property there. And then that particular case that we're talking about that you're seeing, apparently that was dismissed by the DA's office, that case. But then since Kada Scott disappearing and since Keon King being connected to that, allegedly by investigators, the DA had refiled those charges in that case. So not only is he connected to a prior kidnapping case, but also a stalking case, as well as a rape case as well. So he has quite the rap sheet here, which is why he's held on such a high bail at this point. We heard directly from the family of Kada Scott. We actually heard from the dad just yesterday on Good Day. This is what he had to say.
With Kada not being with us, and as you know, each day the desperation grows.
There's one person out there that is a good friend of his that, you know, has a heart. And you know, understands the severity of this and speaks up.
Let my daughter go. Bring my daughter back home. She has loved ones, family, friends that all care about her. She has a bright head on her shoulders, a great future. You know, people make mistakes. If she's alive and breathing, you know, just get her back home, you know?
We want her home.
Again, that was Kada Scott's dad and her uncles on Good Day just yesterday. Now, we're live right outside of the Topgolf along Roosevelt Boulevard, and this is actually one of the locations that Kada Scott was last seen before she went missing. Now, she was last seen at the job, right? But she actually went on a date that night before returning, and so she went on this date with a separate guy, with an unrelated man, and then when she came home from her date, her mom says she saw her for a few minutes before she headed out to go to her job. So these are the two last locations that Kada Scott was seen, which is why we're live out here, hoping that anyone has any information on that. The family has a GoFundMe account. We have a link to it on our website with their own funds to hopefully motivate someone to come forward with information, but also Philadelphia Police has a tip line as well. Anybody is encouraged to come forward with information. Certainly they are looking for the safe return of Kada Scott. Guys.
Please, thank you for that brand new information about she was on a date that night, earlier in the evening at Topgolf, where Shayna is.
And then she went
with a different guy, like Shayna said, a different guy. It's not a Keon King. And
then she went to work.
Yeah, that's what I understand. But the police have interviewed him about how they met and how the date went and stuff like that.